Pivoting. Hey there, I'm still Steve and welcome back to the Folded Form. You can tell it's a different day because different hat. You've made it through episode 1, so let's go build something cool. What? No, we're gonna build something cool.
No!
Management has determined that for proper workflow and function of the company, we need to first flesh out our home office, which lacks pretty much everything. Still better than leg day, so let's get to it. You mean I have to expense a selfie stick? This is getting ridiculous.
Has anyone seen my wife?
Update! Folded Form website is live, so if you have any questions about our capabilities, be it product design or furniture design, check it out at foldedform.com. We're going to treat this like any client build. So, let's grab our pajamas, fire up that space heater, let's get started.
Between you and me, does it seem like management is just dialing in today? They've just been rolling over all morning.
So now that we're comfortable, first things first. Demo? No, requirements.
You know I'm hourly here. Is that sun in anyone else's eyes? So what product requirements are is a standard checklist that you develop with your client, be it for product design or furniture design. This document ensures that you and your client are on the same page at all times and make sure whatever you produce, be it furniture or product, is successful.
So what do we need to accomplish? Storage and organization. We have decent organization in the office, however it doesn't necessarily work for a functioning home business. We know we need to be able to access the crawl space through the closet, so everything on the base needs to be mobile. Everything above that, we're going to just French cleat the wall. So with ADHD me out of the way, what do we need to store?
Shredder.
This filing cabinet, crappy plastic storage unit.
Trash can also needs a home. Maybe not this one.
All the high-tech IT stuff, along with finding actual homes for all the other equipment. This is where a 3D printer should be. This is where a 3D printer is currently living. Now you may be asking yourself a very important question. Why is a 3D printer on top of the desk instead of in the cabinet? That is because the crappy 3D printer that we used to have let all the crappy smoke out of it. And then the much better Creality Ender 3 I was about to buy measured and fit perfectly in the cabinet, so I went ahead and ordered the much larger Ender 5. But the 3D printer is going to end up in the closet as well, and a nice temperature controlled enclosure so we can start printing ABS again. Let's also take advantage of the space above the doors, and at some point we should probably join the 21st century and replace this with a whiteboard. We need a design that satisfies all these requirements, cleans everything up, gives us storage. So now we need to come up with a design that satisfies all these requirements. How are we going to do that? Well, first, we need to remove this door frame. Finish the design, take measurements, run it by the wife. What I was trying to say. You just can't find good help anymore. So let's talk design. What kind of material are we going to use? Love to use cabinet grade plywood, however that would cost me more than my firstborn, which I don't even have, is worth. So we're going to use MDF.
Pro tip, did you know most office furniture is made out of MDF and not plywood? Dude, put that step there. Made of MDF instead of plywood due to cost, and it's usually just covered in a laminate. So what we're doing here, I'm walking here. What we're doing at home is just fine.
So like I was starting to say before I was so rudely interrupted. We're going to use MDF. It mills really well, throws a lot of dust, so we'll need to use some safety gear. But this will be a two-step build. 1 is going to be build and install it. 2 will be painted at a later date when it's warmer because it is Arctic outside, and that doesn't work well for me or paint to flow. To hide our crimes of using MDF, even though this is a home project, it's our office and I take pride in it. What we're going to do is use oak leftover from this desk. You serious, bro? Who decided it was a good idea to store wood up there? Can't get to that. And consistent time jump. What you see here is my home office kit on a slab. Yeah, we'll go with that. I've gone through in SolidWorks and I've designed each individual component for the office. I've made very detailed cut list sheets
or cut sheets that tell me exactly where to make each cut to minimize the amount of cuts and minimize the amount of waste. I've done this for years. It works great. All the models and drawings, everything's done in SolidWorks. If you find something that you fancy that you want, I can make the drawings available online. It's going to be MDF carcasses, solid oak tops. We're going to leave the oak tops kind of for last, just to make sure if any of these dimensions scrooch around for whatever reason. I forget how to use a measuring tape. I can still make the oak tops fit, and I care a lot more about the oak tops than I do the MDF. So this is my super reliable rigid table saw, hybrid, not full size. I've had this for a lot of years. What you will not see me do unless I'm cutting with the dado slot is remove the safety guards. Here's an image of what happens when you take your safety guards off, where I had a piece break and fly back off a dado stack and crush my pinky. Luckily, I got to keep it, but lessons learned. I'm super careful when it comes to dados now. But this stuff stays on because it's there for a reason. This is the result of yesterday. I finished cutting down all 5 sheets of 3/4 inch thick MDF, the single sheet of 1/2 inch MDF, and the single sheet of 1/4 inch ply for the backer boards. It was a lot of sawdust. Now what we're going to do is take all the rough cuts from over there, plot them against the drawings that I put together, and detail everything out. Now admittedly, to save 20 bucks, these standards are no longer available at Home Depot. I could have bought them from Rockler knowing they're going to be good quality, so I ordered them from Amazon. It's dado time. We have 3/4 of an inch worth of dado stack in here right now. This is the OEM blade guard, which is made out of steel and only has 3/8 of an inch worth of clearance. This is what is called a zero clearance dado stack blade guard. So we're going to take this plastic dado insert and drop it into the blade guard hole. Now, as you can kind of hear, that has some play in it, which we don't want. There are a pair of screws in the front that we can take out little bits at a time until we start getting rid of that action. Alright, that's about as best as I'm going to get it. We're going to be smart. We're going to grab some tape to roughly mark out where the side of our blade is. We'll verify this by running it up. So we're offset about 1/8 of an inch. This is where we want our blade guard to end up, because the blade guard is going to hold down the insert about where we had our mark. So this way, when we turn this on, we raise this up, dado stack is going to cut through here. That hopefully has no opportunity to come up, fly up, and kill us. So let's make a hole. Does anyone else feel safe? No? Alright. We're making really good progress. What you have here is a cart that'll hold the trash can and a shredder, so we can, again, roll all this stuff around. We picked up these cheap, nice rubber wheels from
local hardware store. This is a network cabinet. All the adjustable shelves with holes in them, all the edges have been chamfered so we can run the wires through. We don't have to worry about anything pinching, rubbing through over the years. The uprights have holes in them to allow cables to go through. Giant cutouts in the back for the patch panels that are coming through the wall and everything. So this one's coming together really well. It's all ready to come out of clamps. What we have left is this rolling bookcase, this rolling file cabinet, this stack of wood that'll become a series of floating shelves. We also have this cluster pile, which will be the 3D printer enclosure. Had a minor hiccup yesterday while routing a bunch of stuff around the shop, where my not even 2-year-old DeWalt router now sounds like this. And you can smell all of its essence leaving the system. So what do? S-Tool to the rescue! I bought the 1400 series Fescue router. I'll take it out a bit, try it out, see how it works. I know they're supposed to be fantastic, all the good German engineering and all that, so we can continue to throw some sawdust. What we're going to do next is cut the plexiglass door for the 3D printer cabinet out of that sheet of plexiglass, of which I have one spare.
sure there's supposed to be some sort of official exit bumper, but at this point I'm just gonna say, like and subscribe. If you want something built custom, drop me a line, let me know. Let's make something cool together.